Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at all of the shadow encounters currently from Team Go Rocket, and we're going to rank them all, and we're going to start off with Palkia, which is in my opinion an A tier pick. We're going to take a look here at both the PvP as well as PvE side, but mainly PvP because I have more knowledge for them. And so, yeah, Giovanni is going to be, for me, currently an A tier pick. Palkia definitely cool to get. I would definitely recommend you to get at least one. We have Cubone, going to be an S tier. For PvP, a must-have. You need this Pokemon. And that's kind of how this video is going to go. We're going to rank them all here today. We're going to talk a little bit about where they're good and where not. But Cubone is going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to have next up here the Grimer. I have somewhere the normal Grimer in there as well, which is not actually currently available, just for you to know. But the Alone Grimer I'm going to put into the C tier. Has sometimes some potential, but usually not the greatest. While we're going to have next up here Skorupi, which is an S tier pick as well. Great for the Open, Great League and Ultra League at the same time. The normal grunt is coming up. Next year we have a lot of Pokemon that we have to rank here, so we have to see sometimes where they are. For example, Stantler, I would actually put into B tier because it has some potential in the future. It is going to have another evolution eventually. A tier is going to be Bibarel because of the recent buff to it in terms of getting this Pokemon rolled out, which is honestly very, very much impactful. We have another S tier pick here. I feel like Shadow Diggersby as well as the Diggersby Purified is going to be very interesting. And then we're going to have some Pokemon that are a little bit lower down there. Rattata. It's kind of cool actually in terms of the stats itself. It's not even that bad, but doesn't really do the greatest job. Meowth can be the last one, and Diggersby is just the evolution. Next up, Fire Grunt. We're going to have here only 3 Pokemon available from this one. The Darmanitan is very solid for PvE, that's why we're going to put into A tier. Vulpix has sometimes some potential. I actually like this Pokemon quite a bit, which gives it the B tier. And then we're going to have the Fire Starter from Generation 5, which is going to go down all the way here, Tepic to D tier. It is just sadly not good. Unlike the Water Starter, which I'm going to put into B tier. I liked it a lot. I played it already on a video here today, yesterday actually, on this channel, so definitely check that video out as well if you want to see on how good this Pokemon is going to be. And then we're going to have a few more water type Pokemon coming up next as well. For example, we're going to have the Barbolt here, which is going to still be a B tier in my opinion. The thing is currently the Quagsire is just a little bit better than what Barbolt can do. They have the exact same typing, so that's kind of why. And Horsey going to be B tier as well, triple B tier. Horsey very good in the current cup, in the color cup, but usually not too good. Next up, Magikarp. I wonder where Magikarp gonna go. I actually gonna put into the A tier. I feel like S tier would be maybe a little bit too much for it, but both would be okay. Like between A and S, I feel like it's definitely worth it for this Pokemon. Electric type Grunt, we're going to have quite a lot of them. For example, Electabuzz, which is currently a B tier pick because of the recent buff to it as well, with Thundershock as well as Ice Punch being buffed this season, making this Pokemon way more interesting. We have Magnemite. Would put it into the low A tier, currently kind of more underwhelming because of all of the Mud Steppers, but it usually has some decent play. We have Joltik, has recently a lot of play as a Joltik in a cup, but like usually not too great either. And then we're going to have Voltorb. Voltorb, I'm going to put into C tier, has some solid moves, but like it's not the greatest Pokemon, doesn't really have any play currently. Had actually back in the day quite a lot of play, and maybe I don't actually know if we're going to have the Love Cup back again. I don't actually know the current schedule. And this cup, definitely, this Pokemon has some potential as well. Otherwise, what are we missing here? We still are missing the Geodude, which is going to be B tier as well because of the rollout buff recently. And I think this might be it. No, here, this boy here as well, the Blitzel, going to put into the C tier. Blitzel needs a move update to be good. If it gets a better fast move, this Pokemon going to be very, very strong though. So, still worth getting. Grass type Grunt, I still haven't got a single Snivy, which is really annoying for me because I really would like to get the Pokemon. Snivy gonna be into A tier for sure. Very solid Pokemon though, generally speaking. We have Snower, which I'm gonna put into the B tier. I feel like it's kind of where it is the most accurate. And then we're going to have one Pokemon that I feel like is kind of a Pokemon that's really kind of overlooked, Jumpluff. This Pokemon is an S tier pick. You really want to have this Pokemon. Very cool here. You know what's also very cool is that Thrill is back again. This Pokemon hasn't been available for quite a long time here, as well as our Shadow Pokemon. And so I feel like it deserves to be kind of into the B tier. Yeah, B tier I feel like it's kind of accurate for it. I think it's kind of perfect for it here as well. Sandshrew, on the other hand, is going to be definitely an A tier for me currently. S tier I feel like is a bit too actually S tier is kind of fine. Low S tier for this Pokemon. Sneasel is going to be next. This Pokemon is only really good for PvE, sadly. I'm going to put into the B tier. Very attack-weighted Pokemon, not too great, sadly, because it needs a better fast move. If it has a better fast move, it might actually have some play for PvP as well, but Snarl and Ice Shot is just not really cutting it for the evolution of it. So we can move on to the Fighting type Grunt. And here we're going to have quite a lot of interesting ones. A lot of them that are just not really good anymore, thanks to counter being nerfed, sadly, like the Hitmons or also the Girder. Girder would have been really cool back in the day when counter still was normal, but like it never been released for that. So that's kind of annoying. We have Machop, which in my opinion is an A tier pick. This Pokemon has a lot of potential in basically every single league. And then we have S tier, which is definitely going to be the pre-evolution of Primeape and Annihilate. So, like, yeah, those Pokemon are going to be very solid. Fighting type Grunt, always something that you should try to get, because they're like 2 out of 3 are a hit, and also for some people, it's still cool to have like the Girder. So, like, it's a very solid pick there for sure. Next up, we're going to have the Poison type Grunt coming up. There might be some Pokemon in here that I kind of mistakenly put in there as well, but we're never going to see them in the list anyway later on, because we're just going to go by it anyway. We're going to see here C tier for the Nidorino. We have Nidorina, which is going to be B tier in my opinion. Nidorina is actually kind of highly ranked in the Open Great League. I don't know if anybody saw that yet, but this Pokemon is actually really highly ranked, like top 100 or something, which is kind of crazy, as like the Nidorina, like not evolved. Because of the poison sting being buffed. Otherwise, here you see the other poison type Pokemon, they're all kind of sadly lower-ish. Recently, like, while poison Pokemon generally got buffed, I feel like the Pokemon that are kind of currently here around kind of all got nerfed, so yeah, not really too crazy good. Next up, we're going to have here now the ground type Grunt, which is going to have Wooper. Wooper is going to be an A tier pick. Maybe close to S tier maybe, but A tier I feel like is kind of more accurate. We have Rhyhorn, this Pokemon for sure S tier. Like this Pokemon is overpowered in the Open Master League, especially as a Shadow variant, so for sure must have. We have Drillbur, which I'm gonna put into the B tier. Sometimes still has some play in the Open Master League, but like not too crazy anymore. We have Donphan as a Donphan, not the pre-evolution, gonna be B tier as well. And then we have Braver, which I'm gonna put into the C tier. Doesn't really have a lot of play in a lot of times, but like sometimes has some play in like certain metas. Next up, Flying type Grunt. We're going to have here a new Pokemon as well, which is going to be the Taillow, which is going to be kind of C tier, just as a fun pick, it's nothing else. Zubat, I wish that Zubat would be better right now, but yeah, I'm going to put it into C tier. Wish that this Pokemon gets a little bit of an update. Was good before, but not anymore since they changed the wing attack. Next up, we're going to have here now something like the Gligar. Gligar is actually still very solid. I'm going to put into the A tier because also the Gliscor got recently buffed, so that makes this Pokemon way better. And we only have Pidgey left, which I'm also going to put into the low A tier, but still has a lot of potential in the current meta because Flying type Pokemon are actually really, really good. Not so much Psychic type Pokemon, both of them can go into the D tier. Yeah, it's kind of mad on how bad the Psychic type Pokemon are currently, but yeah, those can literally stay there. And we can move on to the bug types. Caterpie can just join them down there as well. While Scyther I'm going to put into the B tier, has some potential as the evolution there. Still very solid typing a lot of times in the meta. We have Venipede, I'm going to put into C tier because I have seen some potential for this Pokemon to be in a community day soon, which might make it very, very strong. And like they're all sadly not really good. Counter got nerfed for this boy, so it's not going to be great anymore. We have the Shelmet up next, which is also kind of can go down there like D and B, C tier. Like D don't really want those Pokemon anyway. And then we're going to have Anorith, which is easily D tier. Like this is not great. Bug type Grunt you can kind of skip in my opinion. We are getting to the final ones here. We're going to have Tortuga, going to be C tier, not really too great, but like yeah, C tier, so I feel like an accurate for this Pokemon. It's actually okay though, but like it's not the greatest. We have Archon, which is only C tier because there's a high attack stat for PvE, but like not that great either. We're going to have Rock'n'Roller next. This Pokemon is somewhere hiding here, but down there is going to be an okay Pokemon. It's just going to be a D tier. Like it hasn't had play anywhere yet, so I cannot really put it anywhere else. We have the Shieldon, what I'm going to put B tier, Shadow variant, not as great, and honestly, Bastion, it's not really the current meta for it. So, we're going to see here up next, the next Pokemon coming up, which is going to be the Cranidos. Cranidos, I have to put into A tier because of what it can do for PvE, but that's basically it. Even though there are more Rock-type Pokemon coming in as well, they're kind of taking its place. So yeah, that's going to be the Rock-type Grunt, kinda mediocre, generally speaking as well. Ghost is going to be next tier, where we're going to have Ghastly, which I actually like quite a bit. I'm going to put it into B tier. Golbat, which is honestly an A tier pick guaranteed. Like, this Pokemon is very good since the Must-Step buff. We're going to have the pre-evolution here of Dusclops, which is somewhere hiding here, deciding. Going to be B tier, has still some potential sometimes, but they're just other Pokemon that just outclassed, which are currently not available here, sadly. But if you literally play PvP, like, you would rather want to have a Drifblim, for example, which does similar. And honestly, Sableye kind of fell off. I don't really see a lot of usage because a lot of normal-type Pokemon are around, so that's mainly why. Next up, also, no, not really a lot of Fighting-type Pokemon. Next up, we're going to have the Dragon-type Grunt. Dratini, S tier, good in every kind of meta. Bagon, I'm going to put A tier just because it's kind of rare and it's kind of solid for PvE. Same kind of goes for the Gibble. Like, it's just like Dragon types are always kind of nice to have. Unless they're a lone Executor, then they're going to be in the C tier, and that's basically it for this Grunt. Dark-type Grunt next, we're going to have Alolan Eradicate. Actually very solid. I'm going to put it into B tier. B tier is like kind of sometimes solid usage, sometimes just really bad. We have the Cacnea, C tier. Sometimes actually has some potential as well because of Sucker Punch being buffed. But like really rarely, sadly. It's like not a great Pokemon itself. We have Stunky, which I can go ahead and go into the B tier. I feel like it kind of deserves the spot there. And that's it for the Dark type. We have Steel type up next, where we have the Aron's evolution there as well, which Lairon is the name of it. We're gonna put into D tier. Actually got nerfed twice with Body Slam as well as Rock Slide recently, so it can go literally wherever it want. We're gonna put B tier for the little, forgot the name of it, the Grass and Steel type Pokemon. Ferroseed is the name. We have the Metang next, which we can put into A tier. It's not really that great anymore, but like it's still good for PvE. So that's mainly why it's there. To be fair, I have to put the Alolan Diglett into B tier. Has a lot of play because of my Mudslap buff. Skarmory I'm still gonna put into B tier as well. Gonna be outclassed soon by another Steel and Flying type Pokemon, which you know I made a video about this earlier. Definitely check that one out. We have Snubbull next, which we're gonna put into the C tier. Sometimes, like, it's the hardest hitting Charmer usually. That's why it still has a bit of play, but like it's not really that great. We have the Mawile. I'm gonna put into the B tier. It just doesn't really have a lot of play recently, but it got buffed quite a bit, so like it deserves definitely a bit higher up. And Alolan Vulpix can also go into B tier, doesn't really have a lot of play recently. Kirlia can also go into B tier because of the evolution on Gallade, which is very solid. The male Grunt, we already have all of the Pokemon. We have the female Grunt here with the Snorlax, which can be in the B tier, like hasn't really had a lot of play recently, sadly. And then we're going to have here the female Grunt having the Victory Bells, pre-evolution Bellsprout, we're gonna put into the C tier. And that's it. That is it for my tier list. This is going to be the tier list for the Shadow Pokemon. Do you agree with them? Do you not? But yeah, like definitely a lot of very solid Pokemon to hunt for right now. Especially also from the leaders, you have like a lot of very solid Pokemon like Q1 or the Drapion, which you really want to have, so that you can easily kind of farm those because you know what you're getting basically. Some grunts that you don't really want to have, for example, the Bug-type Grunt, or yeah, so the Psychic-type Grunt you can kind of avoid if you see them and you just don't really want to do them then. Just like skip them, they're not really usable for anything. And yeah, this is going to be it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like and I will see you then. Bye bye.